A Florida man takes out a gun at a karaoke bar after getting upset over the music. A Florida bill proposes to remove the English exam requirements for graduation. A Florida man is accused of exposing his genitals to a mailman, and scalpers were caught selling DMV appointments in Miami. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News, and they all happen to be from one place called Florida. It's Florida Friday on Weird AF News, and here we go. A Florida man pulls out a gun at a karaoke bar after getting upset about the music. This story is out of Clearwater, Florida. We have a Florida man who's real passionate about music. He was taken to jail for pulling out a gun on a man at a karaoke bar because he was upset about the music. Oh, I can't wait to find out what song was being played that got him so upset at karaoke. Was it My Way by Frank Sinatra? Are you guys familiar with the My Way killings? I believe I covered this on the podcast years ago. In the Philippines, they're very passionate about the song My Way from Frank Sinatra, and there have been incidents at karaoke when someone doesn't sing My Way the proper way. They sing it their way, not Frank's way. People have been murdered over it. Fascinating. Anyways, look up the My Way killings. Someone should make a documentary about that. If I had a budget, I tell you, I would make weird documentaries. The documentaries that we don't want, the documentaries that we need. Okay, back to our karaoke gunplay story. This occurred in our favorite county in Florida. You guys know the place. Pinellas County. Ain't nothing good happening in Pinellas County. All right, what do we know? The police responded to the Overtime Sports Bar on Sunset Point Road regarding an incident in which a man pointed a gun at another patron during karaoke time. Authorities identified the suspect as 34-year-old Florida man Aaron Jablonski. Aaron, the Florida man star of our story, according to the police, became very upset at the karaoke bar because it wasn't really so much he was displeased with songs that someone was singing, but he was pretty upset that the karaoke machine kept malfunctioning, is what was going on. So this guy wanted to get his performance on, but the microphone probably kept cutting out. We've all been there, especially if you rent those karaoke rooms, the private rooms. Oftentimes, those microphones, the people do awful things to those microphones in those private rooms. I don't know what they're doing. They're sticky. It's like as though they dip them in a pitcher of margarita or something. When you got the KJ, when you're in a bar singing karaoke and there's a KJ, a karaoke jockey, usually they bring their own equipment, they care for it, and it's usually pretty top-notch. The microphone doesn't cut out. But in those private rooms, man, so many times I've had to ask the employees to come in to fix the microphone, and that's when we hide the hard drugs, of course. We can't let them see that. Okay, so back to the facts of the story. Jablonski, the Florida man, became upset because the karaoke machine kept malfunctioning. He really wanted to sing, obviously, and it doesn't say what he was planning on singing. He looks like a fun guy. He looks more like I'm going to say he looks like an REO Speedwagon kind of guy, Heard it from a friend who, heard it from a friend who. He's got red hair and a beard. You can imagine. I may be wrong. He could throw a curveball at us here and get up there and sing Gangster's Paradise by Coolio. Okay, back to the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. After leaving the bar, the Florida man Jablonski was still pretty upset about the music situation, the broken karaoke machine that wasn't working. He wasn't able to sing his favorite Whitney Houston song. He was confronted outside by a patron who was simply trying to calm the man down. He's like, hey, Jablonski, hey, listen, man, there's other karaoke bars around here, and if you feel really upset about it, we can just get in my car and sing to the radio. How about that? Well, that's when Jablonski allegedly pulled a gun from his waistband, pointed it at the patron, and said, well, I don't effing care. And then he turned away, and apparently he racked a round out of his gun and strolled off very calmly and quietly. That's when the victim went back into the bar and alerted the authorities. Pretty smart. Because at that point, you don't know if this guy's going to return to the bar with some ideas, as they sometimes seem to do. Jablonski was booked into the local county jail. He is facing, among other things, an additional charge for being a felon in possession of a firearm. So Nice to see even the very few gun laws we have in place are pretty pathetic. And lastly, it says here that according to court documentation, Floridaman Jablonski was ordered to stay away from the Overtime Sports Bar. Every night or just karaoke nights? A new Florida bill proposes the removal of English exam requirements for high school graduation. Florida, you got to give it to them. They have a very high commitment to illiteracy, which is what you want when you're trying to ban books. Hey, if no one can read, no one's going to want the books. So good job, Florida. You're on the highway to illiteracy. Okay, let's get the details. A new legislative proposal in Florida is set to overhaul public high school graduation requirements in Florida by eliminating the necessity for students to pass algebra and English exams in order to earn their diplomas. Brought to you by Wendy's, where you'll all be working if you have a high school degree diploma from Florida. Now, as it stands, Florida high school students must pass the statewide standardized grade 10 English language arts assessment or achieve a concordant score, as well as pass the statewide standardized algebra 1 end of course assessment or earn a comparative score. So basically very simple parameters to get your high school diploma in Florida. Now, these assessments are intended to ensure students have mastered these essential skills, such as mathematics and English, before graduating. But now it seems Florida lawmakers figure since none of them can do basic math or read, that the kids shouldn't have to do such things either, I'd imagine. The new bill is called SB 166, and it proposes to remove these requirements, remove these exams, allowing students to earn their diplomas based on their coursework and overall academic performance without needing specific standardized test scores. Ta-da! In an effort to make America dumb again, I give you Florida. It says the aim of this proposal is to simplify the graduation process and reduce the emphasis on standardized testing. Standardized testing, right? It's so overrated. Why have that? Why set a bar for anything at this point? Just try and get as low as possible as far as U.S. education goes. We're already one of the dumbest, wealthy countries in the world. But why stop there? Maybe we can really revert back to Neanderthalism if we, give an effort and with proper legislation. Florida will be the prime example of this, as intelligence in the U.S. seems to be dropping at the fastest rate ever in history. Florida surely wants to hold on to the first place of dumb states, which, it's what you want. You want a low intelligence and reason to go hand in hand with very lax carry your gun around laws, I don't see what could possibly go wrong with that combo platter. Oh yes, people whipping out their gun at the bar after a few pops.
Your data is like gold to hackers. They're selling your passwords, bank details, and private messages. McAfee helps stop them. Secure VPN keeps your online activity private. AI-powered text scam detector spots phishing attempts instantly. And with award-winning antivirus, you get top-tier hacker protection. Plus, you'll get up to $2 million in identity theft coverage, all for just $39.99 for your first year. Visit McAfee.com. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
A Florida man took out his genitals to show the mailman. This story is out of Miami Gardens, which sounds like a lovely place. I'm sure it's not. There's genitals on the streets. A Miami Gardens man was arrested Thursday after he exposed his genitals to a mail carrier right outside his home. He owns a home? My goodness. Hard to imagine that a man that whips out his genitals to the mailman is actually a homeowner or a landlord, a landowner. Here I am in an apartment, barely getting by. I don't whip my genitals out, Then again, I don't own a building. Maybe that's the feeling you get when you own some rental property. You feel like you could just whip it out in the daytime. What's anybody going to do to you? I'm a lord of the land around here. According to this arrest report, the incident occurred on Northwest 190th Street Miami Gardens police say the victim was delivering mail to an independent living facility when one of the residents, named Kellen Makins, age 44, the Florida man, was sitting on the front porch. Kellen, the Florida man, made sexual comments toward her. This is a lady carrier, as she delivered the mail, which she said she does every day. Of course, she delivers it every day. Rain or shine, she delivers the mail to the Florida man. Dangerous gig, by the way, to have to walk onto the property of Florida people. To just walk up to their front doors. Can you imagine the fear every day? You never know what's going to happen. Be bit by a pet alligator or someone's genitals, next thing you know, are in your face. According to the report, the Florida man, Kellen, took it a step further by exposing his genitals, this time pleasuring himself while looking at the mail carrier. It doesn't quote the Florida man right here in the play-by-play, but I'm sure he said something real creative like, hey lady, I got your package right here. Huh? I got your package. Yeah, I got your package right here. Come and get your package. I'm wrapping it up for you, lady. Yeah, that's right. I'm wrapping it up. I don't know why I'm talking like Beetlejuice, but yeah. Okay, let's find out what the police did. And, my question is, why didn't the mail carrier call the police during the sexual comments? It says sexual comments were made to her as she delivered the mail. Every day he does this. So it was leading to this, obviously. You got to call the police on people like this. Although, I don't know, maybe Florida police don't do anything. It's Florida. I mean, is anyone fixing any of the problems down there? There's just genitals being whipped out everywhere. I think people are just happy that no one got killed in the situation. Did he take out his D and B? The D and B. Did he take out his D's and B's? Did you? Yeah. Okay. He didn't kill you with it, did he? All right, then that's fine. Now, it says here the mail carrier identified Kellen in a photo lineup. He surrendered to the police yesterday and was arrested on a charge of indecent exposure. According to the report, it turns out the Florida man Kellen was arrested in connection with a similar incident in October 2023. This guy. Do you tell your mail carriers this? Like, if you whip out your genitals, you don't get mail no more. So sorry. No more mail for you. You shouldn't get any deliveries. There's like a pedophile list. There should be a list for people that expose themselves to delivery people. And they should be on a no delivery. You're on a no delivery list. Sorry. You're going to have to walk your ass to Domino's, you creepo. Well, on the bright side, for the mail carriers, it looks like our buddies Trump and Elon are going to do away with most of the postal service. So there probably won't be much mail delivery for the next 4 years. So, sadly, the Postmates delivery people are going to have to see this man's genitals going forward. As he says something clever like, hey, I just want to give you this tip. Scalpers caught selling DMV appointments for $250 in Miami. A scheduled trip to renew your driver's license in South Florida is so highly sought after, apparently, that you'd assumed Taylor Swift was performing live. The Miami-Dade County Tax Collector's Office announced that it uncovered this network of scalpers who were hoarding the free DMV appointments, which can be made online. These scalpers resold the appointments for up to $250 per appointment. So, just Miami-ing again. Hustle City, to say the least. Wow, this is like the capital of fraud. I don't know if you've been to Miami, but yeah, the hustle is real over there. Now, it says while the DMV is taking some steps to stomp out the exploitative practice, going to the DMV has become such a torturous experience in Florida that drivers are willing to shell out this fee to avoid it in the first place, waiting in line, that is. Now, for those of you who live in another country, the DMV is the Department of Motor Vehicles. And in the United States, it has a reputation of being very disorganized and very backed up. And so appointments at the DMV, experiences at the DMV can be very long and arduous, sometimes take half a day or an entire day for you to do simple driving-related things such as renewing your license or registering your vehicle. This is the reputation that it has. Some cities have streamlined it, made it a little more smoothly. I live in Los Angeles, where a lot of the stuff you can do online, so you can just completely avoid going to the DMV. altogether, which is desirable if you can avoid it. I'm not sure if other cities or states are doing that as well, but it's preferable to avoid the DMV. The line out the door is famous. Now, what happened in Miami is centered around technology. Scalpers amassed appointments using bots and fake online accounts to exploit this online appointment system. The tax collector's office spotted 200 suspicious appointments in the first 3 weeks after opening a new downtown Miami location for driver's license services. The agency has its sights set on individuals who are part of local driving schools as suspects in strangling the DMV's appointment system. We have a quote from management. They say, "We know who they are and how they operate. We will not be accepting any appointments obtained through system abuse. Our office is committed to ensuring that all residents have fair and equal access to services without interference from those seeking to exploit our system." Now, the local Miami drivers were pushed to buy these appointments because the standard DMV experience had become absolutely unbearable in South Florida. According to the media, people could be subjected to a multi-day ordeal just to renew their license. One woman spoke about how her husband arrived at 9 a.m. to renew his hazmat license, but he was turned away at 1 p.m. as the staff was inundated with people seeking other services. Yeah, this sounds like your typical DMV experience. I've seen people crying at the DMV. You don't see that often when you're out running your errands. You see people crying at urgent care and also at the DMV. It is a horrific experience. In fact, I'm sure there's a version of hell where you're just at the DMV for eternity. That would be brutal. Now, they're cracking down here. In their effort to weed out these scalped appointments, they're trying to pass some legislation to make selling DMV appointments illegal with a potential fine of $500. So hopefully this will swiftly take shape. It's Florida bureaucracy, so it probably won't be very swift, but maybe they'll get it through by 2030, And then the hustlers can move on to a new hustle. Miami is like the family crackhead, steals your jewelry and then sells it back to you for more. Here I go again with weird news, recording the only weird news that I ever known. In a closet I was born to record weird news. All right, that wasn't working. Whitesnake fans, anyone? Karaoke fans, anyone? What's your go-to karaoke song? I'd love to know. I have a whole bevy of karaoke songs at my disposal. I can do all kinds of genres, from R&B to metal to classic rock to hip hop. I can do it all. What I like to do is I'll look over the room. I'll listen to some of the other singers before I choose a song, and I choose it room specific, performance space specific. That's what I do. I got those kinds of skills. So I mean, hey, if I ever come to your city to do a comedy show, take me to karaoke. I'll show you how it works, man. I'll show you how I do it. I'll show you how the magic happens. Anyways, I don't really have too many announcements. That's why I'm blabbering here. Blabbering? I'm rambling here. Rambling? Yeah, rambling. Ramble on. Anyways, I hope you're having a lovely weekend, and I want to thank everyone who sent me Florida news stories. Appreciate that. Very, very helpful. I had a lot of them, as I do every week. When I first started doing Florida Fridays, I didn't think it would be something that would be ongoing. Not this long, anyways. I'm like, maybe I'll do it for a year. Here we are, years later, still. I didn't think the news would just keep pumping out like this. But no one can seem to turn off the spigot, it would seem. The Florida Bizarre News just keeps on keeping on, as they say. Anyways, I'm going to let you go. This is too long. I will say before I go that you can go to weirdafnews.com if you want to support the show. Please consider. You can buy me a coffee or join the Patreon. That's a fun way to do it. Join the Patreon or go to patreon.com/weirdafnews. You get extra content like bonus episodes. That's pretty swell, right? That's pretty sweet. That's beefy. Anyways, be good to yourself. Have a nice weekend. Be good to your loved ones. Get that love and give that love. You know what I'm saying? And take it easy, but take it.